Coming up on the Rockbridge Report, Buena Vista is hoping to gain a new community title.
We're here to, protect each other and keep each other safe.
And then, President Donald Trump's tariffs and where things stand today. Next, changes at Rockbridge County High School in the offices and on the soccer field. And after that, where you can see breathtaking views of the Appalachian Mountains. All that coming up right now on the Rockbridge Report.
Live from the campus of Washington and Lee University with news from Rockbridge County, this is the Rockbridge Report.
Welcome to the Rockbridge Report. I'm Gabe Ketchum.
And I'm Cammie Knott. At Thursday's opening bell, stocks took a downturn. The Dow was down quickly more than 1%, despite ending Wednesday's session up almost 8%. Wednesday's stock boom was due to President Trump pausing reciprocal tariffs for 90 days. The market had been declining for about a week as investors worried about the fallout from another round of tariffs. Today, the market slumped again. The Dow dropped 2.5% and the S&P 500 fell 3.5%. President Trump put a hold on some tariffs, but the trade war with China has expanded. The varsity boys soccer coach at Rockbridge County High School has resigned. The district says Mike Kelly submitted his voluntary resignation on March 28th, a week before the team's second game. The school has named junior varsity girls head coach Jeffrey Tomlin to replace Kelly. To find out more, read Emmy Amoson's story at rockbridgereport.wlu.edu.
Rockbridge County High School is seeing changes beyond the soccer field. The front office will be shifting in the next year. The Rockbridge Report's Emmy Amoson is live at the high school. Emmy, what can you tell us about the administrative changes?
Thanks, Gabe. Rockbridge County High School Principal Mike Kraft has announced his retirement, which is to take effect January 1st. After 43 years in education, including 8 as principal, Kraft says it's time to step back and enjoy retirement. Now, the school system says current assistant principal Sean Sparks is succeeding him. Live from Rockbridge County High School, I'm Emmy Amoson with the Rockbridge Report. Back to you in the studio, Gabe.
Thanks, Emmy.
Last month, Buena Vista police charged Brian Rousey, the former owner of barbecue joint 501 Roadhouse, with 3 felony counts of running an illegal gambling operation. The reason? Bingo nights at his restaurant. The warrant alleges that Rousey required people to take a purchase to play bingo, which counts as gambling under Virginia law. Rousey says that bingo was free to play. Rousey is out of jail on an unsecured bond of $5,000. His preliminary hearing is set for May 1st. To learn more, read John Little's story at rockbridgereport.wlu.edu.
In next year's budget, Lexington plans to increase the wages of nearly 40 of its lowest paid workers. City Manager Tom Carroll says the funding comes from 2 positions that are being cut, the Youth Service Director and the Accreditation Manager at the Police Department. Carroll says the living wage will now increase to about $18 an hour. Under the change, 39 city and school district employees will receive a pay adjustment based on these new wages. The accreditation manager role has been empty since June. Meanwhile, the city plans to change after-school programming after the current youth service director retires this spring.
The city of Buena Vista is working toward becoming a certified crime prevention community, a designation that would give them a leg up when applying for state grants. They have hired 2 community police officers and are working to form a neighborhood watch. The Rockbridge Report's Erica Kenny has the story.
Out of 122 localities in Virginia, there are only 13 certified crime prevention communities. Buena Vista Police Chief Wayne Hanley hopes to make his city number 14. The Virginia Department of Criminal Justice Services says the designation is designed to recognize localities that have implemented community safety strategies. In 2024, Hanley hired 2 community resource officers who are working on the programs that BV needs to earn the distinction.
Primarily do focus on what we can do to improve those community relations.
The program is only one step towards Buena Vista becoming a certified crime prevention community, which will help them earn state grants. The Department of Criminal Justice Services has laid out guidelines that localities have to meet to earn the distinction.
You have to meet 12 core values and 7 optional values. These core values will be things like literature that you offer the public on how to prevent scams. You also have core value of neighborhood watch.
The community resource officers are currently working to form a neighborhood watch in Buena Vista. They've reached out to various business and religious leaders to form a council to oversee the watch. Daniel D'Souza is the owner of Lexington Contracting LLC, a construction firm headquartered in BV. The Buena Vista community resource officers visited his business last year and performed a crime prevention assessment.
It was very thorough. I have to say I was very impressed with the officers because they were looking at every potential angle that affects, the community.
In addition to the grant funding, police say they are excited for what being a certified crime prevention community will mean for Buena Vista.
Certified crime prevention community, what does that say to your citizens? It means, we're here to, protect each other and keep each other safe.
Hanley aims for Buena Vista to become a certified crime prevention community by this October. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Erica Kenny.
Business or nonprofit owners in Buena Vista who are curious about the crime prevention assessments can contact Community Resource Officers Joshua Gutman and Stanley Tomlin to learn more.
The Blue Ridge Parkway is a defining feature of the Appalachian Mountains, offering both breathtaking views and a connection to the region's rich history. As recovery efforts continue following recent storms, local communities are working hard to restore access and preserve this vital landmark for future generations. Carmen Bunker takes us there.
The Blue Ridge Parkway spans 470 miles through the Appalachian Mountains, but after Hurricane Helene and other storms, sections of the route are still facing the aftermath. Though much of the damage hit North Carolina, parts of Virginia, including sections near Rockbridge County, are also recovering.
The other thing that is so important about the Parkway is that it is an economic driver for communities in East Tennessee, Western North Carolina, and Southwest Virginia.
While 217 miles of the Parkway is open in Virginia, closures remain. In and around Rockbridge County areas like U.S. Route 220 to Add Knee Gap section is still blocked off.
I would say when I was hiking, there was a lot of different obstacles that we had to go over and under. I remember there was one time we were coming down the side of the mountain and there was this big giant tree and like a bunch of it and all it was uprooted.
Trails like the Appalachian Trail, which crossed the Parkway in Virginia, were mostly unaffected and reopened quickly. Repair work in other areas will continue for months.
Public land only stays public and accessible if you and I care about it. And by caring about it, we tell people we should keep it, or we should improve it, we should monitor it, we should adjust hours and adjust user visits, and we should support it.
The road is drivable in many parts, but some areas in Virginia, including portions near Roanoke and the I-77 crossing, remain closed. Full recovery is expected to take several more months as cleanup and restoration projects continue. I'm Carmen Bunker with the Rockbridge Report.
Coming up on the Rockbridge Report, learn about how the Lexington Farmers Market works to reduce plastic intake.
And I know not just for me, but a lot of my friends are really upset about not being able to recycle in Lexington. So that's why refill is so good for us, because we don't have another choice, really.
And then, how Black business owners in Lexington struggle to find community support.
And right when we come back, find out what our senior journalism majors have been investigating for the past 12 weeks. Welcome back to the Rockbridge Report.
Breaking news this afternoon. A helicopter crashed into the Hudson River just off Manhattan. Authorities say 6 people were aboard and they were all killed.
For the past 3 months, 6 senior journalism majors at Washington and Lee have been examining Virginia's foster care system in their investigative reporting capstone course. I caught up with Mello Zumbai and Luke Fountain. I asked Luke about the key issues in the foster care system.
Yeah, that's a great question. So just starting off, the system itself is really, really complicated. There's lots of rules and regulations, and so parents are usually struggling to navigate that. On top of that, getting services if they need help, say substance abuse counseling or mental health counseling, finding those services, there just aren't enough in Virginia. And moving ahead, once you get into the legal process of trying to get your kid back, the system itself is so complicated and overworked that parents are also struggling there as well.
And then, can you tell us about a case that captures your findings about what's happening to parents in Virginia's system?
Yeah, so throughout our reporting, we talked to a mom named Alexis Turan. She's a mom of 4, and she was in foster care herself as a teen in Maryland. So she knew when she had kids, she wanted to escape Maryland's system and come to Virginia. So she's in Norfolk. But regardless, in 2017, she lost custody of her older 3 sons, and she lost custody of her latest son, Josiah, who was just 1 at the time of his removal. And she had to do a lot of things to get him back, including she got her paralegal certification so she could have a better understanding of the system in Virginia. And she also placed signs outside of the courthouse so that way the people coming into the courthouse could see how badly she wanted her kids back. Eventually, she was reunified with Josiah, and she experienced that reunification, which she talks about in the podcast that I created.
The full investigative story will be published on Monday on the Rockbridge Report's website at rockbridgereport.wlu.edu.
Black business owners in Lexington say they struggle to find community support. Dina McIntosh, owner of Manavetta Hair Products, says that Black-owned businesses are often excluded from the local business community. City Councilwoman Marilyn Alexander says the last Black-owned store on Main Street was sold in 2018. To learn more, read Emily Scaff's story at rockbridgereport.wlu.edu.
Lexington Farmers Market customers can now buy refillable cleaning supplies, soap, and shampoo bottles through Rockbridge Area Conservation's partnership with Refill Renew. Lexington's Public Works Director says the city stopped recycling in 2020 because of the pandemic. Now they only pick up cardboard from city businesses. As Jordan Hoover reports, this program will give city customers a new way to reduce their plastic intake.
Every second and fourth Wednesday of each month, customers can pick up their pre-ordered bottles at the Lexington Farmers Market. They will pay for the bottle once and the refill each time. Rockbridge Area Conservation will have a booth from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the market and across the street for an hour at 4:30 p.m. Refill Renew has 2 store locations in Stanton and Charlottesville. Owner Mandy Drumheller says this is the first time she's doing a pickup service. She says her Rockbridge customers urged her to bring her services closer. Melody Tennant is a Rockbridge Area Conservation member, involved in the partnership and a customer herself.
I've gone to Stanton to the refill store and refilled those same bottles for 4 years.
Customers like Rockbridge County resident Sharon Culberson can pick up soap, shampoo, and kitchen cleaner. Rockbridge Area Conservation member Annette Green says she came up with the idea and hopes the pickup service will reduce carbon emissions and plastic waste.
And we hope it will become a habit and that it won't feel like a burden, but a lot of people just really enjoy going to the farmers market anyway.
Lexington resident Samara Harrison says she has used Refill Renew for years and has cut her waste in half.
And I know not just for me, but a lot of my friends are really upset about not being able to recycle in Lexington. So that's why Refill is so good for us, because we don't have another choice really.
The program has been active since March, but the Rockbridge Area Conservation hopes to increase its awareness as Earth Day approaches. Drumheller says if the program is successful, she may expand to other pickup locations. For the Rockbridge Report, I am Jordan Hoover.
Coming up on the Rockbridge Report, Washington and Lee University's men's and women's lacrosse teams both played last night. To learn more about the games and for other local scores, stay tuned.
It's been a gray and rainy day here in Lexington, but there's plenty to look forward to in the week ahead. I'll break it down next in my forecast coming up. I'm Simone Schwartz with the Rockbridge Report.
Welcome back to the Rockbridge Report.
I don't know about you guys, but I really hope that saying is true, that these April showers are going to bring us some May flowers.
Yeah, I hope so too. And I kind of also feel like I've been faked out by the weather a little bit. I mean, we've had a long stretch of warm, nice, sunny weather, and now we've been getting a little gloomy. Simone, are things going to pick back up in the near future?
Yes, luckily in the near future, we are expected to have some nicer conditions. And here is our live shot of Rockbridge County High School, and it's extremely gloomy and just really miserable day right now. But as we head into our current conditions, we have a high of 54 degrees and a low of 44 degrees with a barometric pressure of 30.13 inches, a wind speed of 9 miles per hour, and humidity of 90%, so it does feel pretty damp out there right now. And looking at our radar, we can see that we have some rain coming in from the northwest to the southeast, but things are improving. And so now as we take a look at our regional conditions, here in Lexington, it is 50 degrees and rainy. Buena Vista, also rainy conditions at 49. Similarly with Staunton. And then Charlottesville at 50 degrees. Lynchburg at 52. And then as we head into Covington and Roanoke, Covington at 42 degrees and rainy, and then Roanoke at 52. Okay, so now for the 5-day forecast, you can prepare to have your umbrellas out for tomorrow, as it will remain to be rainy with a high of 54 degrees and a low of 41 degrees. And then Saturday, showers are not expected, but still cool with a high of 53 degrees and a low of 38. And then the sun is luckily expected to come out on Sunday with a high of 61 degrees and a low of 41, with still partly cloudy skies. But as we head into Monday, it is feeling much more like spring weather out there, with a high of 75 degrees and a low of 56. And then Tuesday, a little bit cooler with a high of 70 degrees and a low of 41. So even though it's pretty gloomy out there today, we can expect some much better conditions on the horizon. And now I'll pass it off to Cammie and Gabe.
Coming up on the Rockbridge Report, learn more about the plans for VMI's basketball program.
Mackenzie Kane here with Rockbridge Report Sports. What do Averett University and Washington and Lee women's tennis have in common? Well, they both walked into this matchup with undefeated records in the Old Dominion Athletic Conference. But soon one of them will be served with their first ODAC loss of the season. See who came out on top when we return.
Welcome back to the Rockbridge Report.
Yes, from Rockbridge County all the way up to the NBA, there's been a lot of sports coaching changes, and it's been pretty interesting to follow.
Agreed. And VMI is no exception. Catherine, can you give us some more details there?
Yeah, absolutely, Cammie. Breaking news out of Virginia Military Institute this morning. The men's basketball program announced that the team will add Nick Corta as an assistant coach. Corta comes after one season at the University of Missouri. This past season, VMI saw its greatest single-season turnaround in school history, thanks to head coach Andrew Wilson. Wilson signed a 3-year extension yesterday to coach the Keydets through the 2029 to 2030 season. Generals baseball had a rough start last night in their game against Eastern Mennonite University, but the team fought hard and was able to secure a 9-8 win in the 12-inning game. Baseball was just one of the many teams to find success last night. Washington and Lee men's lacrosse defeated Lynchburg College 14-13. Senior Joey Allen secured the final goal just 54 seconds into overtime. Women's lacrosse demolished Bridgewater College last night 21-2. WNL men's tennis closed out its regular season last night with a 7-0 win against Lynchburg College. The women's tennis team had their work cut out for them in a match against Averett University last weekend. The Rockbridge Report's Mackenzie Kane caught up with junior Annie Jennings at the match.
Good evening, Rockbridge. I'm here at the Washington and Lee Duchossois Tennis Center. The Generals women's tennis team is battling the Averett University Cougars. And joining me here is junior Annie Jennings. Now, Annie, what was the team mentality coming into this game, given that both the Generals and the Cougars are undefeated in the ODAC this season?
Yeah, so something new we've been implementing is before a match, we have our huddle with our coach, and then we do just a team huddle. And something we talked about was being confident in our game. We put in the hours on court, and so trusting ourselves and cheering on our team, bringing the energy, because Averett certainly does.
Now, one of my favorite stats in WNL athletics is it comes from the women's tennis team. The fact that you guys have not lost a regular season ODAC matchup in 35 years. What does a stat like that mean to you in terms of the legacy that's being left on this team?
Yeah, I like that stat too, and I feel honored to be part of such amazing team with that legacy. And it's really just a great group of girls. So when you're on the court, you're playing for your team, you're playing for the school, and to get that ODAC trophy.
Well, Annie, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck moving forward in the season. And signing off with the Rockbridge Report for one final time, I'm Mackenzie Kane.
The team dropped 2 doubles matches to Averett, but came back to dominate in singles play. The team fought for a 4-2 finish. VMI baseball returned to the win column last night. The team demolished Radford University 11-5. The SVU baseball team also secured a win last night. The Knights took down Ferrum College 18-8. And the #1 ranked men's volleyball team is set to host the Continental Volleyball Conference Tournament. The semifinals will be played in Washington and Lee University's Holcamp Gym tomorrow night. The Knights will take on #5 Marymount University at 5 p.m.
Today is Mackenzie Kane's last show for the Rockbridge Report. Let's see how she's impacted the broadcast over the last 3 years.
Good evening, Rockbridge. Good afternoon, Rockbridge. Good evening, Rockbridge. Good evening, Rockbridge. Good evening, Rockbridge. Good evening, Rockbridge. I'm here at Washington and Lee's Holcamp Gym.
So she's had a presence for 3 years, and the last 2 years in particular, she's been deeply involved.
Mackenzie Kane is a senior at Washington and Lee University. In the fall of her sophomore year, she came to Professor Kevin Finch with an idea.
She said, I'd like to do some sports reporting for you. She hadn't had any of the courses for that, so she just kind of created her own style, and she's been doing it ever since.
Kane has produced over 50 pieces for the Rockbridge Report, and almost 40 of those have been on the sidelines.
I think she's a natural and brings, like I said, a lot of juice and enthusiasm to what she does.
Her enthusiasm is infectious. She's got a positive attitude.
Sports is an area where we have needed better local coverage, and she provides it. She gives us not just ball scores, but video. She gives us good, rich interviews. She tells a story. She provides some highlights. It's the whole package, and she delivers all of that.
Finch says he's going to especially miss her work ethic.
She has been doing this for no credit, no pay. It's just a passion project that has ended up lasting 3 academic years.
She's very focused. She knows exactly what she wants.
On top of creating her own position, Kane has taken 3 Rockbridge Report classes. She has been an anchor, producer, and Buena Vista reporter.
This is not homework to her. This is what she wants.
Signing off for the very last time.
I'm Mackenzie Kane. I'm Mackenzie Kane with the Rockbridge Report. Signing off with the Rockbridge Report, I'm Mackenzie Kane. Signing off with the Rockbridge Report, I'm Mackenzie Kane. Signing off with the Rockbridge Report, I'm Mackenzie Kane. Signing off with the Rockbridge Report, I'm Mackenzie Kane.
That's all for the Rockbridge Report. Thanks for watching.
For more local and national news, check out our website, rockbridgereport.wlu.edu.